Hi, welcome back to AFTV. I wish I was here to give you some good breaking news while you see this smiling face, but sadly, we have some bad breaking news, and it's along the lines of injuries. More injuries at Arsenal Football Club. I'm going to get straight into the meat of it, and then we can have a conversation of what's going on, why this is happening. But let's get straight into the meat. Mikel Arteta has just had his press conference ahead of tomorrow night's game against RC Lens in the Champions League at the Emirates, and here's what he had to say, specifically on Fabio Vieira. Yeah, we've got a problem with him. He's been having some discomfort. We sent him to see a specialist, and the advice was to have an operation in his groin. He did that yesterday, and we don't expect him back this side of the winter break. It's not good for Arsenal fans right now when it comes to injuries. It's not good for many clubs in the Premier League because of injuries. I think a lot of clubs are suffering with this problem. Many clubs are riddled with injuries, but this one I didn't see coming. I'll give you a quick breakdown of what was going on today. I was here at the AFTV studios, everything relaxed, nice and chilled, just catching up on all the gossip that's going on with the Arsenal fan base and the Arsenal news of the day. Arsenal had a training session. All well and good. Saw it on the main broadcasters, watched their training session. The main news that came out of it was Mikel Arteta nutmegging Martin Odegaard, and he was celebrating. I was like, oh, how lovely. The camp team's happy in preparation for tomorrow night's game. All good. The only noticeable thing was Ben White and Fabio Vieira wasn't in training, but I just thought, cool, they probably did an earlier session, or they may have trained, they might be training later on, but I'm sure they've been rested and be ready for either Saturday's game against Wolves or tomorrow night's game against RC Lens. But no, it is the fact that Fabio Vieira is injured, as I just mentioned at the top of the video, that he has discomfort in his groin and has had surgery. That surgery took place yesterday, and he will not be returning until the other side of the winter break. Now, very ambiguous, the winter break. That can be from now all the way up until March. So when Fabio Vieira will return, we don't know, but I'm hoping soon, maybe towards the new year, where we might see the return of a Thomas Partey. We might see a return of a Jurrien Timber. We might even see a return of Emile Smith-Rowe. That is kind of what I'm hoping for, but it's very ambiguous with what Mikel Arteta said, saying the other side of the winter break. But hopefully a speedy recovery for Fabio Vieira. But what is happening, people, at Arsenal Football Club? That is what I want to know. What is happening away from the 90 minutes we see either at the stadium on the pitch or on your TV screens? Because players are picking up injuries away from match day. Martin Odegaard springs to mind. I still don't know what the reason for his injury was away from the pitch. We got told there was rumours that it was a ball to the face. He suffered from concussion in training, was why he was taken out a few weeks ago. And then I saw another injury another report where it said no, he had a muscular injury, is why he's been sidelined for Arsenal Football Club. What is happening? What is happening? There's a big question mark. Are the players being overworked in training? I don't see Mikel Arteta doing that. I know he demands high intensity when it comes to training sessions, but I'm sure he, as we all are as fans, are aware that there's a load of fixtures coming in December. Big games where you're going to need a fully fit side. We're currently sitting top of the Premier League. We're currently sitting top of our Champions League group, Mikel Arteta. I'm sure he's aware that let's just take it easy when it comes to training sessions. Do a shape session, do a light session. What is happening in these training sessions? That is a question mark I have. And I know there'll be people in the comments saying, come on, Cecil, think about more than just training sessions. Players can pick up injuries at their homes, traveling to and from other places. And yes, I'm aware of that. I know there's many stories of players picking up injuries away from just training, but it seems like that is where most of these injuries are being obtained. So a question mark over that. Again, I mentioned as well that there was a notable change in the training session that took place today, that Ben White was not seen. However, I've been made aware, and from the press conference, you would have known as well, that Ben White is available for tomorrow. So that is good news. That is very good news that we can potentially see Ben White in tomorrow's starting 11. But if not, hopefully you might see him on the weekend against Wolves. Again, I'm going to go back to Fabio Vieira's injury. He speaks about a groin discomfort. I don't know if he had, if this is a recurring injury for Fabio Vieira. And the reason why I say that is because this is similar to Gabriel Jesus' injury, where he had a knee injury. He returned back after the World Cup from that against Fulham. Everyone, applauded I was there when he made his return. However, he then became re-sidelined because of discomfort in his knee. and he had to have surgery and a further operation on that. So that seems similar to what we're seeing here with Fabio Vieira, but I don't know if this is a recurring injury for Fabio Vieira, but I know that because of the discomfort, he had the surgery which took place yesterday. But let's hope he does return very soon. But then this again opens up another conversation of kind of who steps in for Fabio Vieira, because we saw Trossard play at Brentford. Did I question that? No, I was very happy to see that. I think I was very bold of Mikel Arteta, but now I've now learned, obviously due to the injury, that his hand was probably forced because Fabio Vieira had discomfort in his groin. So will we see more of that? Or will we see Havertz step in? Because obviously he's just scored against the winner against Brentford. Will we see him start come tomorrow night against RC Lens? This is kind of the next conversation that must be had. Or will we see Havertz start in the Premier League against Wolves? These are the next conversations. Now that we haven't got Fabio Vieira, we've kind of got to fill that space. And of course, there's other options, whether it's a Jorginho sits at the base in the 6 and we put Declan Rice in the 8 in that position. It kind of opens up the whole conversation for this. So I'll be intrigued to see what Mikel Arteta does now that we don't have Fabio Vieira. I also saw as well, which I actually sorry, apologies, I did not mention that in the training session earlier today, we saw a lot of youngsters come up. I think I saw Cozy Adubri in there, Ethan Nwaneri, and the kind of discourse and the conversation that's happening on Twitter is this an opportunity for them to maybe get minutes come the Champions League game tomorrow? I think that is a big ask because it's a game that Arsenal should be taking seriously, because we can top the group and easily sail through to the final round of 16. So, but there is a conversation to say, you know, Fabio Vieira is now out. Do we put the youngsters in? And at the top of this video, I mentioned, you know, he's going to be returning come probably next year, Fabio Vieira. And I mentioned some of the names that also might be returning in that time, the Thomas Partey's, the Jurgen Timbers, even Emile Smith-Rowe. That could be a real big resurgence for Arsenal, depending on how we deal with this December run of fixtures. This is me right now having a bit of issue with Arsenal Football Club in managing these players, because we haven't hit the December run of fixtures that are going to be key to us and our season, in my opinion. We're getting injuries just before we're hitting it. We haven't even reached December yet. So I have a bit of worry there. I think Arsenal need to get hold of what's going on away from the pitch and get hold of these players. I don't know what the issue is. Are they being worked too hard? I don't believe it's them going out and I'm not going to put that in the atmosphere. They're not going out and, you know, and having late nights and whatnot, and that's affecting them, because that's what happens when, back in the day, when I was a player, some players would go out, they're going to training, and because of that, you know, their bodies weren't ready to train, and that's when they picked up injuries. So I don't believe it's that though. Many players nowadays, especially I know at Arsenal Football Club, they're so dedicated. They have all the tools to be the best player they can be. So I know they're on a tight regime. So I don't think it's that. It could potentially be the weather change. And I know people are going to be thinking, come on people, Cecil, chill out. Let's not look at that. You sound like Ty here when the rain, and let's not forget it's been raining. But that does have an effect on players, especially the foreign players that are used to, you know, the hot conditions. Currently, right now, outside in the UK, right now outside this building, it is freezing cold. With a run of tough games coming and the change in weather, some of the foreign players, or even just some players, they can't adjust to it physically by their bodies, and sometimes they lock up, and that can also lead to injury. So that could be another reason for it. But all I know is Arsenal Football Club need to be very aware of this and try and get a hold of it. And I am fully aware it's not just us. There's injuries riddled through many clubs, but I really believe we need to get hold of this, because if we have a fully fit side, I believe we can beat any team and we can go on and lift silverware this season. So something to consider, something to put your minds to, and hopefully that does change. And I do want to wish Fabio Vieira a speedy recovery back. Hopefully he's back to full fitness sooner than the other side of the winter break, because like I mentioned, that can go all up until March, and I do not want to be waiting that long, because he was starting to get back into the side and find some good form. So hopefully he's back soon. I'm going to remind you what the news is for this video that I started with. This is from the press conference today from Mikel Arteta. He mentioned on Fabio Vieira, yeah, we have got a problem with him. He's been having some discomfort. We sent him to see a specialist and the advice was to have an operation in his groin. He did that yesterday. We don't expect him back this side of the winter break. So that is the breaking news for you all. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Are you as concerned as I am of these injuries? Because availability is the best ability and we need it. We massively need it. We saw it happen last season with the likes of Saliba going down towards the tail end of the season. So let's hope Fabio Vieira has a speedy recovery, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who would you play in his replacement in that 8 position? That's another question. Do you keep the Trossard, do you keep a Havertz, or would you have started Fabio Vieira? He's not available now, so who would you start come tomorrow in the Champions League against RC Lens? Thank you very much, people. I'll see you soon. Take care.